everyone, welcome to today's podcast. I hope you enjoy this temporary new digs in the background. Today we'll be talking about this. Yes, El Clásico. And for those of you who wonder, that was a clip from about a month ago where FC Barcelona beat Real Madrid 2-1. If you want to see, if you're watching the visual part of this podcast, you can head over to YouTube. And if you want to see the highlights, which that clip was taken from, I'll have it linked down below. Now, I figured I'll go summarize the brief, complicated history of El Clásico. Now, most of you already know, most games, most derbies, even though this is not a derby in the traditional sense, but it's a rival meeting. Anyway, this story goes back to the 1700s, when Catalonia, where the area where Barcelona is located, when Catalonia was an independent state in the early 1700s with its own language and culture. After which it was taken over by King Philip V, along with other regions in the Iberian Peninsula, and which will become mixed into what would be eventually become Spain. As time passed, Spanish was forced upon what was Catalonia for use in legal and professional documents, and while Catalonia has over time tried to take measures to separate itself from Spain, there were too many forces that ultimately stopped them from doing so. This is especially apparent at the end of the Civil War, during the rule of the Spanish dictator Franco, that ruled over Spain when any rebellion against Spain was completely disallowed. This also became the moment that the rivalry between FC Barcelona and Real Madrid became more than just a rivalry, but a political symbol of resistance against Spain. So that is basically how it started, and well, I'm not gonna minimize El Clásico. I mean, I've seen clips of the derby, and I've seen matches in the El Clásico. It's top-notch football, top-notch soccer, no doubt about it. It's just that sometimes it feels like the derby has become, the game has become a bit of a circus. Now, I've discussed this in the previous YouTube essay video. You can go down and check it out. I have it linked down below, where I basically talk about when there's too many audience, when there's too much attendance, basically through the cracks there will be people who aren't there to contribute to the atmosphere, but to enjoy the show. And when there's too many people who is there to enjoy the show, then basically the atmosphere gets affected by that. And now I'm not gonna go ahead and compare El Clásico with American sports, soccer and hockey games. I mean, obviously there's important distinctions, obviously. But as you can see here, if you watch the visual part of this podcast, you can see how inside of the stadium, where it looks more like people are there to take pictures rather than to go wild and party and, you know, to live for the club like most games do, like most fans do, right? And if you look outside and if you listen to people who has been there and watched how it looks outside the arena, it looks more, according to what they describe, looks more like a circus rather than a derby and a sensational football match.
Det finns mycket man kan säga om El Clásico. Och visst måste vi konstatera att stämningen utanför arenan snarare påminner om en turistattraktion än en glödhet fotbollsmatch. Vart man än vände blicken såg man flaggor från alla världens hörn, matchtröjor med lag från andra kontinenter och säkert ett par tusen selfie-sticks. Detta är utan någon som helst konkurrens den moderna fotbollens flaggskepp.
Right. For those of you who didn't understand what the man in the video said, he said, quote, "There's a lot you can say about El Clásico, and sure we have to conclude that the atmosphere outside the arena more like remind you of a tourist attraction rather than a hot football match. Wherever you look, you see flags from all corners of the world, game shirts from teams from other continents, and a couple of thousand selfie sticks. This is without a doubt the flagship of the modern football, or soccer as some of you would prefer to call it." Now, this clip is from a series called Destination Europa, or Destination Europe, from a YouTube channel called Fan TV. I'll have both the YouTube channel and the video linked down below if you want to view the full content. But that's one of the witnesses who shared his experience while visiting El Clásico. Now, for those of us who haven't actually been in the arena and seen El Clásico with their own eyes, we have to take this, what I'm saying, with a grain of salt, of course. But this highlights what I'm trying to say, that it goes back what kind of football game you want. Do you want it to be a electric atmosphere, a temple of hot, very tense emotions? You want to be a lot of tense atmosphere? You want it to be alive football emotions? Or do you want it to be a football game where it's more of more like a show? And now I'm not saying that El Clásico doesn't have atmosphere, because even if you haven't viewed it on the scene, you can see on the YouTube clips there is a colossal atmosphere, without a doubt. It's kind of like if El Clásico was a dish, that you order in a restaurant, right? I mean, it tastes great. It's top-notch food, without a doubt, but you can sense it has some small taste of tourist attraction, like the man in the video said. And so basically, I'm not saying that it's done, a done deal, or that is written in stone or anything like that. It's just that if you look at it from an outside perspective, if you look at it from the atmosphere, you can see that it's influenced by this tourist attraction, this circus act, which I talked about again in the essay video about American versus Swedish sport fans. Go ahead and check it out if you want to know what I'm talking about. But and if you watch that video, which I talked about now, you can also hear the man talked about what inside the arena looked like. There is both set of fans present, without a doubt. It's just that the home fans, Real Madrid fans, are located, a couple of levels from the pitch, and they create a bit of an atmosphere. Visually that you can see them, waving flags, jumping around and stuff like that. And you can see the Barcelona fans in the away end. But as you can see, that most of them was just sitting down and clapping, while the few who were standing up and singing. And that's it. I mean, the away fans, most of them sat down and clapped along with those who were standing up and singing. That's it. Now, as I explained before, you have to take this as a grain of salt. I mean, this game was in 2016-2017 season, and it's possible that the atmosphere and some changes might have occurred at that time. Perhaps there's more fans in the away end, and there's more additions of any sort. But at that time, perhaps in the first clip you saw earlier in this podcast. But I don't know. I still get the feeling that this is more like a tourist attraction, a circus act. It's more of about entertainment, and we can see it in many arenas around Europe. I mean, I don't know if you have seen Ajax home arena. There's flashlight like this, supposed to be like it's a concert of some kind. And for another example, Milan. Everybody knows that the Italian fans are known for their atmosphere and their passion for the game. But if you watch a couple of clips, you see it's same thing as Ajax. It's flashlights, it's disco lights of a similar nature. It's again, it looks more like a concert, a tourist attraction. Now, again, same thing I said about El Clásico. You have to take this as a grain of salt. And also, it's not like I'm saying there isn't any atmosphere worthy the name. I mean, many people have visited these games, have experienced tremendous, great atmosphere, no doubt about it. But you can't deny that this entertainment aspects is getting more and more traction. I mean, more than ever. It's not like it haven't gained traction before, but I'm saying it's gaining more traction now. I don't know, it's kind of sad. I mean, the football, the quality of the football, the soccer, it's great. I mean, I've seen a couple of clips of the football, the soccer that is being played in El Clásico, the Milano Derby, Ajax, the football games, soccer games in Ajax Arena. This is all part of the development that we supporters who are standing under the banner against modern football, against modern soccer, that's what we mean trying to combat. I mean, it's not like we oppose entertainment. We don't mind entertainment. It's just that we want it to be a temple of tremendous emotions, electric emotions in the arena. You want it to be real. It must come from the fans. And when I mean the fans, I mean the fans who live for the club, not those tourist supporters who are just there for entertainment. And again, as I talked about before, that's the downside of having a big arena with the possibility of having more people, because you cannot deny that more people who is not necessarily die-hard fans, I mean the kind of fans that want to contribute to the atmosphere, who want to party, who want to go crazy and, you know, contribute to that electric, tremendous emotions, the electric atmosphere that I've been talking about. They are there to just sit back and enjoy the show. Enjoy the show, but sit back like it's a movie theater, a concert, like I said. And I don't know, it's not like if my club, Djurgården, were to have its own arena in Östermalm, the east side of Stockholm, it's not like I would oppose it. But if we hypothetically were to get the opportunity to get an arena there, maybe I'll prefer to have it like the capacity to be like 18,000 maybe, which is not a lot, and some people may object to that proposal, but I don't know, at least that way it's more exclusive, and people will be fighting for the tickets, and those who will be fighting most for those tickets are the hardcore fans, which creates a incentive to get those tickets, and that way we can preserve these electric and hardcore atmosphere that I've been talking about. Maybe, I don't know, it's a lot of factors to consider. I mean, also about financing the construction of a new arena. I mean, those who finance it might want to, they might, you know, make demands of their own and want to include something in the arena, like the name of the arena, like the arena we're playing at now, Tele2 Arena. They want to change the name, and that's the strongest demands for them to invest money in the arena. Otherwise they will pull their support and stuff like that. And that's why today's podcast is about El Clásico, and hence the title El Clásico or El Plástico, because that's the constant struggle that we supporters, active and retired like me and some others, are trying to speak up against. But I don't know, maybe it's not much to tell. I mean, that's why I'm skeptic when I'm here about El Clásico. Despite, again, without a doubt, they have atmosphere, they have passionate fans, but as you heard in the clip, or saw in the clip if you're watching the visual part of this podcast, there's also fans who just view it as a show, like a tourist attraction. I mean, if things go south in a club financially, which sort of fans will be the one who sticks around and trying to lift the club up again? It certainly most certainly won't be these tourist fans who just appear when it's a big game going on. It sure as hell will be the hardcore fans. And it's all come down to, again, what kind of a atmosphere we want in the football soccer arenas. Do we want the entertainment aspect, or do we want the electric hardcore atmosphere that we known and love for a long time? Well, I guess that's all I can say about that. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure to give it a follow on Spotify. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, and be sure to follow us on the Instagram pages. I'll have it viewed here in the visual part of the podcast, and I'll have it linked again down below. Thanks to all of you who've been listening, to those few of you, and we'll see you in the next podcast. And in the next video, be sure to keep your eyes out for the next video, which will be about my club's hockey final series. See ya soon.